Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Pulse of the Port. I'm your host, Sean Horish. It's hard to believe, but back in 2011, the land that I'm standing on right now did not exist. This new land is being created to support the Middle Harbor redevelopment project. When completed, this terminal will be a marvel of green goods movement that will bring 14,000 new jobs to our region. But as you can see, there's still a lot of work to do. Before we learn about how a terminal is built from the ground up, let's take a look at how the world's largest cargo ships fuel up here at the Port of Long Beach. Hey everyone, I'm Ken at Harley Marine Services. On any given day, you can see Harley tugboats out at the Port of Long Beach bringing giant vessels safely in and out of the harbor. But they also provide another crucial service that you may not have heard of, and they do it using this. And we're about to find out more about it. Harley Marine has a fleet of fuel barges that provide fuel to the thousands of vessels that visit the Port of Long Beach each year. And we are here with Kelly Moore, barge master for Harley Marine Services.
I'm not sure about that, but
this thing is incredible. First of all, the really simple question, what is a fuel barge?
what a fuel barge is the most layman terms is this is a big floating gas station that we take to ships with a tugboat, and the barge discharges fuel to the ship so they can make their journeys.
So why can't these vessels just pull up to someplace at the port here and fuel up with hoses directly?
It's all about timing for these ships. So while they're in unloading their goods, either their containers or their dry goods or bulk goods, the barge comes alongside, so it's all happening at the same time. The big thing for the ships are quick turnarounds.
Kelly, this thing is huge. What kind of fuel does it carry and how much can it carry?
Most of the products that are being used in the Port of Long Beach are intermediate fuel oil, low sulfur fuel oil, and marine gas oil, which is basically diesel, just like you put in a car. And we hold about 28,500 barrels. And just to put that in perspective, there's 42 gallons to a barrel.
Vessels traveling across the Pacific to the port place their fuel orders weeks in advance, and it's a good thing. They can burn between 6,000 and 12,500 barrels of fuel, depending on vessel type and the cargo they carry.
Well, what we're doing now is we've got our tugboat made up to our floating gas station here, our bunker barge, and we're going to be taking it out of our company's marine facility and headed over to Long Beach 211A to the chem oil loading facility. We're here in Long Beach at the chem oil loading facility. So the barge is in preparation for getting loaded. As soon as she's loaded, she'll be going out to discharge her cargo to a vessel. Also, you can see that there's been some boom put in the water, which is spill boom. The spill boom's deployed by the oil terminal as a precautionary measure, just to make sure if there wasn't any type of release of oil from the barge that it would be completely self-contained and protect the rest of Long Beach Harbor.
And by the way, Harley Marine Services' safety record is spotless. They've had 0 spills at the Port of Long Beach. These barges are also helping the port reach its clean air goals. The engines that pump the fuel from the barge to the vessel are the most modern and cleanest engines available.
With the fuel safely loaded onto the barge, it's now time to perform the most important part of the job, getting this barge and the fuel it carries to the vessel that ordered it.
There's actually an 8-inch cargo hose, which this one is. The barge also carries a 6-inch hose. We would crane the hose, because it's really heavy, up to the ship. The ship would connect it to their loading manifold, and then that is the conduit between the barge and the vessel. So when we're discharging, it's coming off the barge and through this cargo hose. For an average figure, about 4,000 barrels an hour, which is about 168,000 gallons an hour, so a little bit faster than your gas pump.
As you just saw, safety during the entire process is a top priority. I want to thank Kelly Moore for showing us around, and also Harley Marine Services, who help to fuel our economy by fueling these massive ships. In addition, Harley Marine also has 3 barges that provide fuel to vessels up and down the West Coast. As you can see, we are at the Middle Harbor construction site where new land is being created to support this terminal. And with me right now is Tom Baldwin, Senior Program Manager at the Port of Long Beach. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, I understand this is a 305-acre site. How much of that land do you have to build?
We're building 75 acres of new land on this project. 35 acres are being built under phase 1 with the remaining amount under phase 2.
So where does it all start? What's step 1?
Step 1 is to build an earth dike. We call it a retaining dike to separate the landfill portion from the shipping berth.
So you just start dumping, some fill material into that container of sorts, and it just starts rising out of the water?
Basically, we're getting quarry run material from Catalina Island. They bring it over on the barge, and they dump it in the water, and they build up an earth dike.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate the information. We have plenty more questions for you, by the way. After the break, we'll see why ports around the world are closely looking at the Port of Long Beach's sustainability programs and projects. Stay tuned.